hariho na kansara omukazi orajokera abakyara babutobere onarebo Eva niwe twakwakira omukitinisa cyawe ni hano ya Dr. Frank tweheyo kandi muri pasa wa Christian Fellowship Church ari hano ya Bwamutebire Foundation niwe twakwakira mnonga
wewe mnonga MC kugira mani minji no shaba kutugira ntabwo cyo nyindaba RDC wa Kabale district na washitamini itoa tondera kwakira
twine hano ya district health educator abakabale district Alfred Besigensi. You are most welcome. So
ntabwo cyo kandi muse omukuru ninga olukurira endwale zitakuturira mu kitongole echa World Health Organization echo mu Uganda kandi ekikuleeta amagalo mahanga gonna ago mu zona Dr. Kasule wa Moscow.
Thank you very much, Mr. MC. The Honorable Minister of State for Trade, Honorable David Bahati, our Member of Parliament, Honorable Kamala. This one is our champion at the national level. Thank you very much for leading the fight against NCDs. I'm here on behalf of the WHO representative, Dr. Charles Kuria Njuguna, and I have my colleagues from WHO. I want them to join me. I have Dr. John Kiyankayo. He has already arrived in Kabale. And also with Warren Green is there. The chief guest, Honorable Minister of Trade and Honorable Bahati, members of Parliament, Honorable Kamara, and the MP represented here, the Resident District Commissioner, the Speaker, our Commissioner from the Ministry of Health, and other members of staff from the Department of Non-Communicable Diseases, the district leaders, the Deputy Mayor, the DHO, the COW, Central Division leaders, representatives from the NGOs, partners, and civil society organizations that have already been presented here, participants from the private sector. The students have shared a very important message today. It shows they understand and we want them to continue. We don't want this to end today. The media, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to read this on behalf of my boss, the WHO representative, Dr. Charles Njuguna. And he says, I'm delighted to join you as we commemorate the World Diabetes Day under the theme, the global one, diabetes and well-being, and the national one of empowering individuals, families, and communities for better diabetes life. This is timely as Uganda strives to stop the increase in the prevalence of diabetes. This is a commitment that Uganda made globally among other leaders. Way back in 2011. Diabetes epidemic is growing, and in 2019, 460 million people were suffering from this disease. But unfortunately, 80% of these people live in low and middle-income countries like Uganda. And in the African region, already 24 million adults are currently living with diabetes, and the number of cases is predicted to increase by 129% to 55 million by 2045 if we don't do anything differently. The prevalence of diabetes in Uganda, according to the International Diabetes Federation, was 4.6% among people aged 15 to 79 years in 2021. And this is about 716 million people with diabetes, and yet we had already this 89%, which is 637 Ugandans are not aware, which means they're not doing anything about it. And the first time we see them at the health facility, maybe when they have complications, either they have gone blind, or their kidneys have failed, or they have a heart attack, and this is really very bad for us. and the number is bigger than 2 times the population of Kabale, which we had has a low life expectancy, but this number is even bigger than that. And these people have diabetes in Uganda. The chief guest, ladies and gentlemen, the increase in diabetes cases has been dictated by exposure to risk factors. We have heard a lot about these ones, and we heard about the unhealthy diets. This year we are eating a lot of sugar, we are eating a lot of fat, unhealthy fat, we are eating a lot of salt. And tobacco, we also heard about it. People are using tobacco, which is a risk factor for diabetes. And we are not exercising enough. We're also taking a lot of alcohol. And the other one that we can't avoid is also air pollution that is increasing because of our human activities that we are having. All these must lead to non-communicable diseases, including diabetes. These risk factors also lead to body changes like we had it overweight and obesity, and the high level. The WHO has supported the fight against diabetes through development of evidence-based policy options, strategies, guidelines, and protocols that are geared at reducing exposure to risk factors and management of diabetes and other non-communicable diseases. Some of these guides include the Global Action Plan for Prevention and Control of NCDs that was initially for 2013 to 2020, but now it goes to 2030. The guidance in there is very hopeful if we implemented it. There are also technical packages such as the essential package for non-communicable diseases. It has very good guidance that if we follow it, it can help us deal with diabetes. And also to improve access to quality assured insulin, manufacturers were pre-qualified in 2019 by WHO. And the Diabetes Compact that was launched in 2021 with a vision of everyone with diabetes to access the care they need. In 2022, the World Health Assembly, including Uganda, set the first global targets for diabetes to be achieved by 2030. And these targets are 80% of people living with diabetes are diagnosed. We heard that 89% don't know. So now we want 80% of those who have it to know, which means people have to get tested. 80% of people with diabetes have good control. This means we need to treat those who are diagnosed with diabetes, and these people need the medicines at the health facilities. The other one is that 80% of people with diabetes have their blood pressure controlled. Blood pressure and diabetes are very close relatives because they damage nerves, they damage vessels. If you start with high blood pressure, the chances are very high that you will also get diabetes. But if you start with diabetes, the chances are also very high that you get high blood pressure. So 80% of people with diabetes should have their blood pressure controlled, and 60% of those older than 40 years should get treatment with blood fat lowering medicines that we call statins. And 100% of people with type 1 diabetes or diabetes for young people, like you had when our people are singing, should get affordable insulin and blood glucose monitoring. I'm glad to inform you, guests of honor, that Uganda is one of the countries that are piloting the Diabetes Compact